Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers. This morning I'm looking at a very interesting book from Oxford University Press. It's one of a number that have come out recently, and it's dealing specifically with an area of arbitration, which I think is very important. This is the book here. It's a heavy book, lovely blue, light blue cover. You can see what the structure is of the book very much from what you've got there. You have paragraph numbering at the sides, nice little index at the front of each chapter, which is always helpful, I think. And you've got also the statutes and cases listed in footnotes, and also any authoritative references. You've got a very detailed index at the back, which is to be expected. OUP have not surprised me here at all. They've come up with the highest possible standard. There is a very useful contents page, you can see there, dealing with all the information. And what we're talking about, because I've mentioned the title very vaguely, is it's the choice of venue in international arbitration. A bit of a long title. It's been edited by three people, Michael Ostrove, Claudia T. Salomon and Betty Schiffman. And as I said, it's a heavy book. It's running to something like 550 pages altogether. There's a lot of detail in it. It's very useful, I'm sure, for most people involved in looking at international arbitration, which is of course an important area of law now for everyone. And the foreword starts off with the title we've given it, which is Location, Location, Location. And I hope that's not copyrighted. And Julian Liu has written the actual introduction. I'm very pleased with this book because it's up to the highest standards of OUP and very much what we would expect them to be producing for us in these specialist areas of law. This particular one on arbitration is of special significance, I think, because arbitration in terms of where you're going to have the hearing and how you're going to deal with a dispute is of very great importance. Now, our review, which is on the web and in the journals, has been given the title Location, Location, Location. What a surprise. And the answer is yes, it matters in arbitration, because that's really the essence of this book. So therefore you've got to decide what choice of venue you want for the actual hearing. So who knew? Who, that is, who has not been involved in international dispute resolution, including arbitration, would automatically assume that the choice of venue at which the arbitration takes place would be such a crucial element in working toward a successful outcome. So who knew where to go? That's the first real question. But in arbitration, as in so many other facets of life, location matters, because in the final analysis, it's a jurisdiction matter. And the jurisdiction actually matters very significantly in these circumstances. So new from OUP is this book, and we've got ample confirmation of this perfectly sensible assumption, which we started this review off, of the shape and form of the meticulously researched work of reference which this book is, and has as its clear and self-explanatory title, Choice of Venue in International Arbitration. As I've indicated, writing in the foreword, Julian Liu refers to the book, quote, as an informative tool to aid understanding of the legal systems and arbitration regimes in 20 different countries. Now, in many of the reviews I've talked about the global impact of how we do business, which is changing with the internet and with new communications, IT and everything else. So therefore, confirming that location does matter when you are involved in any form of cross-border arbitration, Mr. Liu goes on to say, is that it is essential that the parties and lawyers understand the effect of the selection of a country and venue as the seat for their arbitration. And this book will certainly help any of the aforementioned parties to do just that, explaining in precise terms why and how they should do it. The seat of arbitration, the siège de l'arbitrage, continues Liu, is, quote, the place where the arbitration belongs and where its character may be determined or at least influenced. The book thus goes on to introduce you, the reader, to almost literally a world of choice of possible arbitration venues. some of the most exotic places, from Brussels, I don't know about that, to Buenos Aires, yes, to Sydney, beautiful, beautiful Sydney, the United States, New York, Miami and Houston, and Vienna. Now London, Paris and Moscow are also on the list. Well, naturally, they've got to be. The importance of choosing the right venue, in other words the appropriate jurisdiction, has long been recognised by the International Law section of the American Bar Association, as indicated by its vigorous debate on the subject at the section's meeting, which took place actually in Paris in 2010, and actually generated the initial idea, the germination for this book itself. So we've got guys from Paris to actually start it off as the pathfinders, if I can put it that way. Heading a team of over 30 international contributors, mostly from top law firms and leading academic institutions worldwide, the editors have created a splendid guide to this often complex and certainly wide-ranging subject. And with its copious footnoting, which I've indicated earlier, the extensive index, which is a detailed one, and the section of almost 30 pages of tables of cases, statutes, legislation of various sorts, the book is also a formidable research resource, and very much part of the, if you like, the persuasive elements of legal research that we have today. Extremely useful to know where to look for this sort of thing. Let me conclude by saying that as an authoritative work of reference, the book is aimed primarily at an erudite readership of international lawyers, arbitrators and academics worldwide. So if you're a practitioner or arbitrator or involved in any way with dispute resolution, this is a volume you should definitely add, in our view, to your professional library. And as I say, the OUP have not disappointed again. They've come up with a first-class book. The publication is dated round about June 2013, and I'm recording this in March 2014. But the book itself, as I say, is a very good one. It's quite a heavy book, as usual, and it's a hardback, but you can see again the sort of detail you've got there. And I'd like to thank the authors, Michael Ostrov, Claudia T. Salomon and Betty Schiffman, very much indeed for the huge amount of work they've obviously put into this. And OUP again for overseeing it all. Their publications are always extremely invaluable to any of us as practitioners, and the academic interest is there too. This is an important area, possibly a bit more fast moving as well in terms of the overall legal world, but it's a great contribution, so thank you all very much indeed. Bye bye.